Hey, playa, have you ever walked away from a conversation feeling like you lacked a real display of confidence? Like somehow that person was easily able to pick up on the fact that you were shy or nervous or awkward when you were talking to them? If you've been there before, chances are you might be using one of these 3 confidence killers in your conversations. And every time you do, that person just sees right through you and knows that you're not confident. So I want to walk you through what they are, how to catch yourself when you're using them, and what you need to say instead. I've had a lot of discussions with people where they've asked me to look over their conversations or to read their text messages and to point out specifically what they said that totally flatlined the whole conversation. And what I tend to notice is that it's not just one line that they use. Most often, it's them using a passive voice. And I get it, using a passive voice when you're talking to someone you like is safe. You don't want to sound too aggressive or too forward with them because if you are, you might push them away. So you're a little bit more hesitant, a little bit more worried, a little bit more conscientious of what you're saying so that you don't rock the boat. But the major problem there is that you're just not coming off as confident. You're not showing them that you know what you want. Instead, you're kind of just hiding behind the truth, hiding behind what you actually want to say. Hey, I wanted to know, are you doing anything this weekend? No, I'm free. What did you have in mind? Oh, I didn't expect that. I'm free too. Crazy, right? We're both free on the weekend. Yeah, did you want to hang out or something? Hang out? Why would you assume that? I was just asking if you were free, That's all. People are free. You're free and I'm free. That's about it. Gotta go. That's my time. See ya. When you lead with your passive voice and never actively express what it is that you want, yeah, sure, you may be sparing yourself from getting rejected or hurt by them, but you're leaning more on your insecurities, your doubts, and your fears. And ultimately, that's not going to allow you to feel more confident around them, and it's certainly not going to allow them to perceive you as more confident either. And even if you feel confident enough to approach them and start a conversation, you still might be using one of these 3 confidence killers when you talk to them. So let's walk through what they are. Number 1 is you ask them if you can ask them a question before you actually ask your real question. This is a weird one that people tend to do, but I actually understand the reasoning behind it. By asking them first, hey, is it okay if I ask you a question? You're being respectful of their time, you're not being pushy, and you're ultimately giving them the space to decide if they want to talk to you. But the problem here is that you're creating way more space than you need to between you starting that conversation and you getting closer to them. Hey, I want to ask you a question. Is that okay? Sure, what's your question? Well, I want to ask you a question, but I wanted to know first if it's okay if I ask you that question. So I asked you if I can ask you a question. Is that okay? I think so. What's your question? Well, you answered my first question by letting me know that it's okay for me to ask you a question. And then when I followed up and asked you if I can ask you a question, you said that was okay too. So I have a real question that I want to ask you. So are we good? Can I ask you it? Yes, just ask the question. Why didn't you just ask it in the beginning? Well, now that you've asked the question, I feel like I should answer your question before I ask my question. And I feel like that's only fair. Just ask your question. Just ask it. Fine. My question is, how's your day going? Why the heck would you build something up? My day's going fine. It's going fine. Now, obviously that's an exaggeration, but I think that by asking first if you can ask a question, you're just downplaying your confidence. You're showing them that you're kind of unsure about what you want to ask them, when in reality, you could just say something like, hey, let me get your opinion on something, or hey, what do you think about this? By coming forward with it and just outright saying it, you're showing that you're certain about your question, you know what you want to ask, and you know you want to ask them. Confidence killer number 2 that you might be using in conversations is apologizing to someone for talking to them before you start the conversation. This is something I tend to see happen a lot. People feel they need to lead in with something like, hey, I'm sorry for bothering you, or I'm sorry for wasting your time. Hey, you got a minute to chat? I'm really sorry for wasting your time. I just wanted to ask you a question. Yeah, sure, I got a minute or 2. What did you want to ask me? A minute or 2? Okay, that's like 60 to 120 seconds. If I ask you my question, is it going to take that long? Or what if it goes longer? Are you going to feel obligated to stay in the conversation because my question went longer? You could just ask it. I have to go soon, but I can probably chat really quickly. So what's on your mind? Really quickly, not just quickly. You put really in the conversation for a reason. Oh boy, I feel so bad now for taking up your time. I shouldn't be wasting your time like this. I know that you're a busy person and I'm really sorry for bothering you. We're almost done with the 2 minutes here. I feel like, do you feel like it's hot in here? I think it's hot in here. Is it just me? All right, well, I mean, I gotta head out, but it was nice talking to you, I guess. Yeah, definitely. And I'm really sorry for taking up so much of your time. I know you're super busy and all, and I just really am sorry about that. All right, I mean, I'm pretty sure you could have asked me what you wanted to ask me, but now that I'm heading out, I think we're gonna have to wait till next time. More often than not, if you're apologizing at the beginning of the conversation, it's not because you want to be conscious of their time. It's usually because you don't really feel confident in what it is you're bringing to the conversation. You don't feel like what you have to ask brings value, and you don't feel like you saying it is something that they should genuinely care about. I know your intention is to be respectful, but most likely it's your insecurities that are steering the ship. So take a step back and reflect on that. Ask yourself, do I feel like what I have to share matters? Do I feel like my voice matters? Do I feel like I matter? And if the answer is no, it's not really about them. You need to circle back and focus on yourself. Confidence killer number 3, I see this happening all the time. You're interrupting your own stories to downplay their value. As you're sharing something with that person, you might start to feel insecure about the fact that you're sharing it. You might feel like they don't care about it, they're not interested, and you're wasting both of your time. So as you're telling that story, you just make it sound like it's not important. Hey, I wanted to tell you about something funny that happened to me the other day. Oh yeah? What is it? What was so funny? Oh, I wasn't expecting that. Well, you know, it's kind of one of those things where you had to be there for it to be funny. Like I don't think you're gonna find it funny. And you know, like if I share it, you might not even find it funny. You know, it's just something me and my friends found funny that happened. Oh, okay, so what happened exactly? Well, you know, I was walking and my friend found an empty pizza box. You know, now that I'm saying it out loud, it just kind of doesn't sound funny. But yeah, so he was walking with the empty pizza box and pretending like it was a real pizza. And, you know, it's not really that funny. Oh, okay. I mean, did you guys prank someone or what did you do with the empty pizza box? He was kind of walking with it, and when people would walk by, he would pretend to trip and act like he smushed his pizza, but there was no, it's kind of stupid. The story's not really funny. You kind of had to be there for it to be funny. That sounds kind of funny, I guess. See, I knew I shouldn't have told you because it's, you know, you really had to be there for it to be funny. In fact, forget it. It was stupid. It was not even funny. It was kind of stupid, actually. It was just, oh, I'm blowing this, aren't I? If you don't see merit in the things that you want to share, how can that other person possibly see it? Part of being confident is really feeling like the value you have to bring to the table is worth listening to, is worth caring about, and is worth sharing with that other person. But if you just doubt yourself, if you feel like the things you're saying are dumb and stupid and a waste of time, that person's never going to feel like you're confident in what you're sharing. I know it's not easy to always be as confident as everyone says it is. You might feel intimidated by the person you're talking to. Maybe they're more popular than you, or they're super attractive, or they're just surrounded by a group of friends and you're put on the spot to share what you want to share. Real confidence starts within. You first need to believe that you have what it takes to be somebody great. And look, you may come across people that don't care about what you have to say, or that think your story's boring, or that actually interrupt you because they have to leave. That doesn't mean that what you're saying doesn't matter. That real confidence is going to stem from you, not from them, not from the outside world, from you. So try your best to catch yourself when you feel like you're using your passive voice, when you're not actually saying it is what you want to say, when you're telling yourself that what you have to say is dumb and stupid. Toss that negative voice aside and say, hey, listen, the confident me is going to come out here. The confident me is going to show them what I want to say. The confident me is going to be proud of who I am because of who I am, not because of anyone else's judgment of me. You have what it takes to be a confident person. I know that deep down inside, and I want you to know that too. On that note, I'll catch you next time. As always, love and peace.